Hello, everyone. Hello, people watching this. In 6 years, you will stop aging. And this is fact. You will stop aging in 6 years. So longevity escape velocity means every consecutive year after 2029, human beings will have a consecutive year of life added to their life every year instead of losing a year of life. We're basically on a roller coaster. There are some people that are the front seat of that roller coaster. And we're about to go past, and we're about to start falling down this crazy roller coaster. Some people are seeing the drop. Some people are in the back of the roller coaster not really perceiving it. But remember that game we played where we thought we had only one life and we had all these crazy debuffs like sickness and the flu and random things, and you could get hit by a bus and just like all this suffering. All right, everyone, welcome to the Chill the F Out podcast. It's episode 1. My name is Lucas. I'm your host. This is Kyle.
Yeah, it's Kyle Fall.
To cut to the chase, everyone on Earth right now that's alive has a very high potential to be immortal. Now, before we get to explaining why that is, let's explain some of the technology that's happening. Technology has happened. A lot of the things people have not been aware of behind the scenes. A lot of the things that our perspective has limited us to seeing, and the exponential growth of technology that's going on. A lot of these ideas have to do with Ray Kurzweil, the GOAT. We'll get into that as well. A lot of people have a negative perspective of AI. A lot of people have a pessimistic view of the world.
Massive right now.
Massive pessimistic view of the world. And I think that's another topic we're going to be tackling. So let's get started. Let's start with, I guess, the beginning. Let's say the timeline. The timeline of growth in terms of, let's say, transistor, the size of transistors decreasing over time exponentially. So transistors used to be this massive thing that gradually now has become so small that it's in everyone's technology. Billions of transistors are operating within your phones, within your computers, within all these devices that you're using. And we don't really understand the scale or appreciate the scale of this technology. 20 years ago, the phone that you have right now in your pocket was worth, for sure, billions of dollars. Billions of dollars if you were to buy it 20 years ago for the power that it holds. Now everyone has one in their pocket. Technology of that scale now is accessible to everyone 20 years later. Now, for the next projection of technology, let's say the next 10 years, we're going to reach something called longevity escape velocity. And that's going to be an interesting topic to talk about, because longevity escape velocity means after, and this is Ray Kurzweil. Hell, let me give an introduction to who Ray Kurzweil even is. So a lot of the audience doesn't know who he is. So let me go on this little spiel about Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil is one of the world's leading inventors, thinkers, and futurists with a 30-year track and reputation of accurate predictions called the Restless Genius by the Wall Street Journal and the Ultimate Thinking Machine by Forbes. He was selected as one of the top entrepreneurs by Inc. magazine, which described him as the rightful heir to Thomas Edison. PBS selected him as one of the 16 revolutionaries who made America. He's the principal inventor of the first CCD flatbed scanner, the first print-to-speech machine for the blind, the first text-to-speech synthesizer, the first music synthesizer capable of recreating the grand piano, and the first commercially marketed large vocabulary speech recognition. Among Ray's many honors, he received a Grammy Award for the outstanding achievement in music technology. He's a recipient of the American National Medal of Technology and was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. He holds 21 honorary doctorates and honors from 3 U.S. presidents.
This guy's a big deal, yeah.
Yeah.
He's considered like the Godfather of Futurology. So this is not some guy making random predictions in
Yeah.
his basement. This is a guy that's made prediction after prediction since, I believe, like 1960s, and they've all come true. So
Yeah, we're not talking about someone with a tinfoil hat on in their mother's basement having crazy, wacky ideas. This is someone that's not only been predicting these things, he's been working on these technologies actively. He's the one that has been carrying us behind the scenes. No one, I guarantee you, most of the audience aren't familiar with who Ray Kurzweil is. However, he's written the book, The Singularity. He's written The Singularity is Near. He's written the book, The Singularity is Near, and now he's writing the book, The Singularity is Near. In this book, one of the main topics he talks about, one of the main concepts he talks about is longevity escape velocity. Longevity escape velocity is happening in 6 years. 6 years. Our society, it's 2023 now. He predicts longevity escape velocity to happen in 2029. What does longevity escape velocity mean? Longevity escape velocity means every consecutive year after 2029, human beings will have a consecutive year of life added to their life every year instead of losing a year of life. Now, try to wrap your heads around that before let's moving on, because a lot of people hear that, they're like, oh yeah, whatever, it's science fiction. Oh, that's so far in the future. It's 6 years from now, guys. It's 6 years from now, and this guy has been right about everything up until this point. We've had technologies like ChatGPT come out. We've had technologies like the technologies that we're using now in our phones. Do you guys see what the video games look like of today's age? We already have VR. We already have AR. We have all these technologies emerging exactly as he predicted it. By the way, this guy, Ray Kurzweil, he predicted the World Wide Web before it happened. This guy has been consistently predicting the right things of human beings for his whole life. He started inventing things when he was 5 years old. This guy is a child prodigy. This guy went to MIT when he was super young.
Like 14 years old,
he graduated easily, like it was nothing. It was like an easy clap for him, you know? So he went to MIT, killed it. He was like, this is too easy. Time to change the world. Time to invent all the technology to make this thing happen, because he's a visionary and you guys need to understand his vision. So let me explain what his vision is. So, longevity, escape velocity. How do we get there? What is it? Okay, so longevity, escape velocity. 6 years from now, humans are going to be essentially immortal. What does that mean? It means in 6 years, through medical technology, through nanorobots, through the scaling down of the technologies we're using in the world, and through AI, we'll be able to modify T cells. The T cells right now in our bodies are capable of basically keeping us alive forever. However, they're programmed to be turned off. Why? Because human beings were never supposed to evolutionarily survive past the year of 25. If you look back 1,000 years ago, the average lifespan of a human was nothing. Nothing. Even in the last 100 years, look at the crazy amount of lifespan extension we've already had. So how are we going to get to longevity, escape velocity? There's something called the 3 bridges that Ray Kurzweil talks about. So bridge 1 is the current bridge that we're on, and bridge 1 takes us to 2029. In 2029, what we need to do, we need to take the right supplements. We have to have the right diet. We have to have the right exercises. We have to have the right mental exercise mindsets. We have to go about the world in a peaceful, loving way. Why? Because it's so amazing. Guys, like, this is the first generation in human history to have the capability and potential to be immortal, and people just don't realize it. We're living in 2023 right now, and the whole of human civilization is having a giant subconscious shock. And I think this is where a lot of people's spiritual awakenings happen. I think this is where a lot of people's concepts of, reality starts to like really crumble or formulate, because it's such a huge shock. People either subconsciously or consciously know things are rapidly, exponentially changing all around them, and they need to start making sense of it. Look at what Ray Kurzweil is saying. So Ray Kurzweil is saying, in the next 6 years, we will progress technology to the point where we reach bridge 1. Bridge 1 now, in bridge 1, we have the right medical technologies with AI, and he also predicts full immersion VR and AR by 2029. Yeah. Do you guys, okay, so that also sounds science fiction-y, or that sounds very like boring, because some of you probably have tried VR of these days, probably tried VR of 2023, and it's kind of clunky, it's kind of annoying. I remember I tried it once, I tried the VR of today, and it gave me pink eye, and I was like, you know what, I gotta chill out from VR, because I'll wait for it to advance. So a lot of people can't zoom out and see the actual trajectory it's going, because they see what they see now and they're like, oh, okay, whatever. Just like people saw the technology of the past. Like, say, for example, cell phones 30 years ago when they had those giant bricks. They're like, oh, yeah, whatever. It's not really that much better than my home phone. I could go and dial a few people, whatever. I can't even play, Sims on it. But now you could play all the Sims you want. You could play whatever you want. You could use your phone for amazing things. You could have an AI on your phone these days. You could have ChatGPT on your phone these days. You could have access to the whole realm of human knowledge in your phone.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that, especially right now, we're at an intersection where maybe in the last 10 years, technology has moved, maybe not the quickest, like your smartphone got way better, but the next 10 years, actually, it's as an intersection of things like self-driving cars, AI, VR, AR, all these things are happening right now in the 2020s. And this leads us to the second bridge that Lucas was talking about, which is the biotechnology that has been advanced with some current events. Biotechnology and medical technology has been advancing through the roof. A lot of funding and stuff has been put into this. So it's even possible that Ray's prediction of 2029 could be even quicker than this. So it's very exciting, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's get to bridge 2. Bridge 2 is when, after bridge 1, say you've reached bridge 1, we've made it. Next 6 years, we're healthy. We, hopefully everyone here that's watching has made it. let's say now we're at 2029. Now in 2029, we have technology that, keeps us alive. Doesn't we've stopped aging. We've stopped aging. In 6 years, we stop aging, everyone. That's a big revelation. Hello, everyone. Hello, people watching this. In 6 years, you will stop aging. And this is fact. You will stop aging in 6 years. So in 6 years, hey, we've stopped aging. However, you could still get hit by the proverbial bus. You could go around, you could be walking around in your immortal biology body and get hit by a bus and be like, okay, well, I guess game over. That means you still have to be careful. You still have to, look both ways before you cross the street. You have to, not take unnecessary risks. But that doesn't mean you don't live life to the fullest. Actually live life even fuller because you have immortality now. So anyway, before we get to there, Bridge 2, we enhance our bodies to be more durable.
A lot of with biotechnology.
Yes, biotechnology. So with biotechnology, we advance our skin to be more durable, our organs to be more durable. We regrow organs. We'll have full and total regrowth of organs for sure then.
Yeah, they're doing like primate trials like right now. So like clinical human trials of like laboratory made organs is going to happen like I think around like 2025, 2026. So by early 2030s, like literally people will get heart transplant and blood transplants that are made in a lab. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we've reached Bridge 2. Congratulations, everyone. We're at Bridge 2. Our bodies are more durable. However, someone could go around and like Kamehameha us and then, atomize us.
Game over.
If you guys don't watch Dragon Ball Z, it's just like, special, whatever. Anyway. Okay, so now we go to Bridge 3. Bridge 3 happens when we reach the Singularity. The Singularity is when we blend. We blend with technology. We upload our consciousness to the cloud. And I know that's a scary thought. That's like, oh, how are we going to do that? What is consciousness? What are we? What is the meaning of life? But what we really are, we're just information. We're just information that can be uploaded. We're able to replicate our consciousness, our memories, upload our thoughts, store our thoughts. And with this, we enter something called the Singularity. Now, what happens in the Singularity? It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine because it's such a spectacular science fiction universe. A lot of people have different perceptions of what the future looks like. People imagine Star Wars, they imagine Star Trek, they imagine all these sorts of fantastical universes where, or even like, Warhammer 40K, where it's a little darker, Yeah, I didn't really work out there, but
not at all.
but we're optimists. We're optimistic futurists, and we're going to continue being optimistic because there is no reason to be pessimistic because all trends, poverty over the years, poverty over the decades has been exponentially being reduced. We're in the lowest point of poverty to have ever existed in human history. We are, and it is getting better over time exponentially. We are tackling some of the greatest world issues right now in terms of carbon emissions, in terms of greenhouse gases. All these things are being brought to light, and all these things are being tackled. I know there's people that you see it on the news. You see these people that are like the loud minority of a lot of people that are just shouting and hating against it. But you have to understand that regardless of the negativity, the progress of technology isn't concerned with politics. If we've understood one thing about technology is it doesn't care about politics whatsoever. It could be right-leaning, left-leaning, it doesn't matter. It's just advancing. And how it's getting advanced, it's just becoming more and more complicated. It's becoming more sophisticated, and it's becoming more understanding of the human mind. And once the human mind is completely understood, it doesn't matter. Like politics, not politics. Guys, it's going to be such a small thing in the grand scheme of things once we get to that point. But at that point, what happens? Now you're able to upload your consciousness to the cloud. What do you do with this new information? Okay, so now here you are. Let's say we fast forward to 2045. We've uploaded our consciousness to the cloud. What do? You do whatever the heck you want. You can literally do whatever. You could simulate any world you want to live in. You could simulate any university. You could be university. You could be the king. You could be the king of your world. You could be the king of your castle. You could be a peasant of your castle. You could live any reality you so desire. Now, what's the, let's say, logical progression of this idea? Now, in this reality, and this goes back to the current reality that we're living in this reality, because this hypothetical reality, which is our reality that is happening factually, you guys could all fact check this. In this reality, human beings will upload their brains to their consciousness to the cloud. Now, once our consciousness is uploaded to the cloud, we have a few choices to make. We have, personally, this is what I'll do. I love sword fighting games. I love anime. I'm a giant nerd. You know what I do? For 10,000 years, I will be in a sword fighting simulation where I'm just in a tournament, competing against random dudes, PvP, whatever. I'd be in my own sword fighting universe. Let's say 10,000 years. Why not? Why not? And people say you get bored of immortality. How could you? How could you get bored of immortality? What do you mean? What do you mean? Do you ever get bored of your, like, a lot of people are depressed, a lot of hope, like, imagine you had no hopelessness, imagine you had no depression, imagine you had everything at your fingertips, everything that you needed, all your desires met, all your anxieties gone. You don't have any money problems, you don't have any girl problems, relationship problems. However, all you have is your consciousness and an unlimited ability to do whatever you want. Now, in this hypothetical universe, let's say you're doing, let's say you're me. You played that sword fighting game for 10,000 years. After 10,000 years, you're going to get bored. You're going to be like, you know what? I played this sword fighting game for 10,000 years. I'm the best sword fighting guy in the world, in my world. Then Kyle's going to come along. Here's Kyle. Kyle's going to be like, hey, Lucas, you want a real challenge? A real man's game? This game, there's a guy that made this game. He made this game called Life. In this game called Life, you start out by losing your consciousness. Hey, that's crazy, Kyle. Why do I lose my consciousness? You know why you lose your consciousness? You lose your consciousness because you have to reset from nothing. You randomly pick a character from any timeline, or maybe you choose easy mode and you pick a timeline where you prefer, or you pick a character that you want to be. But you lose your consciousness regardless. Now you've consented to playing this game. In this game, you have a set of debuffs. You have the sickness debuff. You have the trauma debuff. You have, every debuff you could think of in the real world associated. But you also have the positive. You have the accomplishment. You have the sense of, listen, guys, the life without consequences is what a lot of people, causes people to just play GTA. Like, I know when you guys play GTA 5, I guarantee you're like a rampaging serial killer murderer. You're going around, you're going robbing banks, you're going driving the car through the traffic. You know why? Because there's zero consequences. The people there you're completely disassociated from. You don't care. And then after you go through that, you start appreciating how it is to live with consequences and say, so in conclusion, my prediction is that this game in the future, in this hypothetical future, which is our reality, which is happening, which our trajectory is headed right there. Someone's going to create this game, and then people are going to consent to play it. So people are going to consent to playing a hardcore game where they lose their consciousness. They have one life. They know they think they have one life. They randomly roll, or they choose whoever they want as a character in this game, in a timeline in this world. And they play through that conscious experience to learn the lessons and to have that character growth and to find love and to find and to appreciate this thing, this existence. Because you can't really appreciate this existence if you don't have any consequences. You'd just be floating around into nothingness. And that's essentially what's going to happen. So, guys, here's a message of warning. You have a very huge opportunity right now. And you have a huge opportunity to learn, to understand how you're going to be functioning in this world that's happening, and it's going to happen. So to kind of frame it like this, we're basically on a roller coaster. There's some people that are the front seat of that roller coaster, and we're about to go past, and we're about to start falling down this crazy roller coaster. Some people are seeing the drop. Some people are in the back of the roller coaster not really perceiving it. But everyone's going down this roller coaster anyway, and this roller coaster is going to hit us fast, and it's going to hit us in the next 6 years. And if you're not ready for this roller coaster, you may get a lot of anxiety, and you may get a lot of confusion. So I want to kind of like condense my advice in how you should kind of be perceiving this new reality that we're about to embark on. And how you're supposed to be perceiving this reality is you have to take life and what we're doing here as an opportunity for you to grow your character, for you to grow your spirit, make good friends, find love, be good to another. Because imagine being an infinite immortal being, and after 20 like let's say after like 40 years of existence, now you're immortal again. You realize, like all the things I was doing was all the manipulations. Oh my God, that was so cringe. I cheated on my girlfriend. Oh, that's so cringe. I did this. Oh, that's so cringe. I did like imagine the shame you live with because you had to do all these unnecessary things in order to survive in this world that was honestly just a thing for you to develop your character.
This is what you think life is.
I think that's what life is. So I'm really optimistic and hopeful for the future. Do we have any statistics to prove this? Do we have anything to back us up here, Kyle?
For sure. So a lot of people have to understand that your brain as a human is made for pessimism. Just in terms of like survival, being optimistic is actually pretty useless for the future. So if you ask people, I think they made this poll in 1990s where they ask, actually no, this is recent. They asked people since if the 1990s poverty went down or up, and then 86% of people think that like world poverty is getting worse, world hunger is getting worse, even though the only 1% of people saying that we reduced it by 50% from now till 1990, world poverty and world hunger has gone down by 50%. And things like money since 1900s, I think we went from 4 million jobs in the U.S. to 140 million. It's just people have this trend, especially now on social media. It's kind of cool to like be a pessimistic, be depressed, like everything's ending. But that's really sad. So I'm actually happy about this podcast, about our message. I think it's good to be optimistic about not only life, but like technology and AI. Everybody thinks they're losing their job, that life is going to shit, we're going to get killed by the machines and stuff. But no, I think for a lot of it, AI and automation is gonna help us do a lot better things. In 1900s,
it's also going to free up a lot of our times. A lot of people don't want to be doing what jobs a lot of people are doing their jobs right now for survival. A lot of people are doing whatever their existence is right now because they think, okay, I need to do this, and if I don't do this, I won't find the woman. I won't get my money. I won't have my needs met, and it's a hierarchy of needs, right? So a lot of people hierarchies of needs. A lot of, especially men in the West right now, are just like concerned about getting a relationship or getting a girl or like knowing how to talk to girls, and that's a huge issue for a lot of men right now.
Massive.
And you know what? A lot of women as well trying to get into relationships with men, and that's huge right now in today's society. And you guys have to understand how utterly privileged we are to be just worried about that in the West. That we're only worried about how our social dynamics are like changing and how people are perceiving each other as like, oh wow, this person is changing so much. Oh, this person. It's because people's levels of consciousness are just like completely in flux right now. Some people are realizing the amazing world we're living in. Some people are still stuck in the past and being like, oh no, like this change is bad. What you should be thinking about is how is this change benefit? How do I adapt to this change? How do I best position myself in this change? And how do I help the people around me understand the change that's going on? And to understand that, once you understand that, you'll understand that life is so good. And also, we are in the most lucky period of human history that's ever existed, where humanity can actually become immortal. And people don't understand that. People don't understand that we are on the cusp of becoming an immortal society. And it's, as crazy as it sounds, it's not. It's backed by fact. It's backed by technology. It's backed by the trends. It's backed by what's going on. You guys look at what's going on right now in terms of AI development, in terms of the technologies that's developing around you. And even independently research this yourselves. I'm more than happy to have any and if you have any opposite and opposing opinions, let me know after the show, and you can message me. My @ is Lucas Najjar, and I'm more than willing to have any conversation with anyone. And shout out to Ray Kurzweil. If you want to be on the show, I would love to have you on, man. You're a legend. I'm gonna have a monument of you in my world, in my AI world. I'll have a monument saying Ray Kurzweil, the GOAT.
Yeah, this guy doing big things for humanity. He's basically the equivalent of like people like Albert Einstein or Da Vinci, but he's living now, so he's not that popular. Yeah. But great guy, great thoughts.
Yeah, people are gonna come to appreciate his work very soon. Okay, so what happens to your body when you're now in the cloud? What happens to your body, with your physical body in this universe? Right now, as you're existing, what happens to it in this hypothetical universe, which is our universe, which is happening, which is fact? What is happening? What's going to happen to our mortal shell, let's call it? So we are be able to connect to AI through the cloud. Now, what happens is the theory of relativity. Because relativity happens, when we go into these simulations, let's say we simulate another universe in our universe. Let's say this is one universe and we play a video game. Let's just call it a video game because everyone's familiar with the concept of video games. We're just playing a video game. Let's say we play GTA 20. In GTA 20, you plug into your consciousness and your character in GTA 20. However, the GTA 20, your consciousness is there, but the consequences are different. You don't feel pain. You respawn. You have all the GTA things, right? However, you retain your consciousness. You're aware you're playing GTA 20. However, time in GTA 20 functions completely differently than it happens here. Because your whole consciousness is now in the cloud, time essentially stops in this universe. Time essentially will stop or halt to a very minuscule amount of time. I don't know. I'm going to have to fact check the science there. It's either stops or halts to a very small period of time. And we in that universe, we'll perceive time completely differently than here. So we could live 1,000,000 years in the GTA 20 universe and only have 1 second pass here. Now what happens? Are people going to just escape into their worlds? Hell, yeah, they will. Yeah, there's going to be people that just get lost. There's going to be people that just like completely blink out and just escape into their fantasy worlds for millions of years and billions of years. And that's a fact that people are going to have to understand and come to terms with. Now, how do you kind of prevent that from happening? How do you prevent how do you keep the connections and friends that you have right now? Honestly, it's honestly just going to be like your word. It's like, oh, like my girlfriend's right here. I'm gonna stay with her. You know, I'll be with her forever. So it's like we're gonna play GTA 20 together for 1,000,000 years. And if I play 10,000 years with my swords fighting game, she's gonna come with me. She's gonna be, sword fighting there with me. So that's one thing. So what happens to your bodies here? Your body ultimately basically pauses, but eventually over time, let's say you spend eons in this new world, which you will be spending eons in this new world. What do you do now? You spend eons in this new world, and then your perception of this world, the world that you originally started from, it starts to blend. You don't really know the difference. Okay, what's the difference between, remember that, like you'll start thinking about, remember that game we played where we thought we had only one life and we had all these crazy debuffs like sickness and the flu and random things, and you could get hit by a bus and just like all this suffering, and you'll be like, oh my god, that was a crazy game we played. But that maybe you'll think about it fondly like that. Maybe you'll have like some street cred in the future as being one of the people that, like one of the ancients that went through this game and came out of it and like thought your perception of life and death was completely different, and you had so much character growth, and maybe you have wisdom to pass down. Maybe that's our role. Maybe our role is to pass down some wisdom that we gain to people that will be born in 20, 30 years that never got to experience mortality. That's another thing. There's going to be people born 20, 30 years from now that will never ever have to worry about death, and they'll never have even the concept of death. They'll just be infinite beings from the very beginning. They'll have the ability to be plugged in and be in the cloud for infinity. It's so how do you even like? I guess the only way to do it is they're gonna just be infinite things. But I think their consciousness. I think that's how the system balances itself. I think your consciousness is something you grow through experience and character and suffering. So I still think human consciousness can, connect with one another, be like, hey, listen, this is something I learned, and you appreciate life differently, existence differently because of the lessons you learn and the different things you experience,
If we kind of go back on this a little bit, yeah. So what you're describing, would you say for the people that this is like the natural extension of the metaverse and things like that are really popular today?
Yes. So things that are emerging right now. So things that are emerging right now are things like the metaverse, video games, even Instagram, even TikTok, all these things, all these social platforms, all these things they're augmenting your life, like your cell phone, like all these things are basically the difference between that and the world that I'm talking about is latency and how direct, like how integrated you are with it. So that integration is going to become more and more direct. So we're things like Elon Musk is working on.
Yeah, shout out to Neuralink.
Yeah, so there's Neuralink. So Neuralink is coming along, and technologies like Neuralink that will augment your brain and like have your brain actually have an AI tool. And this is another thing. People's perception of AI is completely backwards. So because human beings are natural pessimists, human beings are the biggest pessimists there ever existed. And they always think of the worst case scenario, because if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And that is true, and that's rung true a lot in human history. And human optimists have been severely punished for their optimism in the past.
True.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it's okay to be an optimist now, and it's looking good. So a lot of pessimistic views of AI is like the Terminator and like all these pessimistic views, or even Warhammer 40K, where the AI like kind of goes out of whack and kind of tries to take control of society. AI will never try to take control of society. AI will always just be a tool. AI will always be something that we use in order to help us understand the world more, and it will be a tool for us to make our lives just more easy, better, and understand like our purpose and place in this life.
Why do you think that AI has to be positive?
Because essentially it's a tool made by man. It's a tool made by, and we have ultimate control over it. So for example, when AI as it's used now, let's say we don't have real AI, we have language-based models, but these language-based models will eventually graduate and become AI. But let's take these language-based models as an independent, like, thing that people can relate to now. How many people here are using ChatGPT? So ChatGPT is a tool that came out a couple months ago and has completely changed the landscape of how everyone cheats on math tests, or not, on English tests.
It's going to change school by itself.
And probably math tests too. Probably cheats on everything. Everyone is cheating left and right. There's like a race right now between universities and the cheaters.
Universities are using ChatGPT to catch people using ChatGPT. It's crazy.
Exactly. And there's some ways around it, and we can get into that later. But like,
why do you think it's going to be positive? Yeah?
Imagine the tool it is right now. So basically, a lot of the things we're doing, and this goes back to a lot of the things that human beings are doing right now, they don't really want to be doing. They're doing it out of the necessity, the hierarchy of needs. So they're doing the manual labor job, they're doing whatever, and then they're coping through life, and they're feeling really depressed, and they're feeling really sad. And I think a lot of that has to come down to their needs not being met. But once we meet their needs, let's say they're financially secure, they're comfortable in life, they have a real avenue for hope, relationships, love, family, community, unity, all these things that make human beings really, really, really happy. And once we have that, human beings' purpose will be their passions. It'll be like, hey, listen, I want to create the coolest game that has ever existed. We have an actual perceived scientific backing behind everything that we're experiencing right now. It's like every single thing is on the right trajectory to happening. In the next 6 years, we will reach longevity escape velocity. In 6 years, humanity will gain a year of life consecutively instead of losing a year of life. And that fact alone is so mind-boggling and crazy for a lot of people to interpret that and come to terms with, that I think a lot of people are...
Yeah, that raises too many awkward questions that people don't want to answer, but we'll have to.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Kyle?
Sure. Is part of the reason that you're so optimistic about the future, is it because people like Ray Kurzweil are actually like good guys, whereas a lot of people think of like big corporations as like evil entities that are going to exploit them? I think it's very important for people to research specific people like this guy, who are incredibly like smart and like talented people with a lot of resources. The guy literally works at AI or at Google. I think he runs an AI lab at Google. And he shares his vision. He's just an optimist kind of guy, and he made all these videos, and that's how we found him, right? Is that partly why you're so optimistic?
Yeah. So another thing people think is that there's like villains in this world, and there are some really messed up people in this world, but most people are genuinely just like good people, good-natured people that want to help other people. And there's people like Ray that literally just have a passion of envisioning technology and creating it and making it happen for the world and making people experience it. And he's been talking about this for his whole life. He's 74 years old now. He's been talking about this since he was 5, and people have not been it's because he's just such a humble man. Honestly, he's so humble. He's just like he's not he needs to be more excited about this, but I think he's just such a genius that he's like so calm. It's like such a matter of fact for him. It's like, yeah, so this is what's going to happen, and we're there. And for him, it's just such a matter of fact thing. There's no enthusiasm. He's not excited for it. He's just like, yeah, so this is just reality, everyone. And people are just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's Ray just talking about immortality. No big deal. Let's go to McDonald's after this. But like, and then they missed the whole immortality thing. Hold on, Ray just said. Hold on, let's see if he has a track record here. Oh, he invented text-to-speech. Oh, he predicted the World Wide Web. Oh, he wrote the book The Singularity. Oh, he wrote the book The Singularity is Near. Oh, he wrote the book The Singularity. He's writing the book The Singularity is Nearer.
He wrote 3 health books. So when he makes prediction on like biotech and like nano biotechnology and news, like he knows what he's talking about.
And all his predictions have been coming true. Now it's like, oh, okay, so that guy that's talking about us being immortal is, hold on, that guy's right. And you are, and we are, and you're gonna have to come to terms with that. And that's it.
Very good. Another question for you. So you talked about people being kind of like pessimistic these days and needing to be optimistic. I don't know if people know this, but like you're a life coach, right? You're an entrepreneur that does life coaching and dating coach. So do you have advice for young people that are kind of like maybe depressed right now, their life's not going too well? Like what would you say to these guys and girls?
So a lot of people's depression, a lot of people's lives right now is so small because how you view your life is so for the people that don't know, I basically 5 years ago, this was my routine. I would wake up, I would watch anime, I'd play video games, and I'd go back to sleep. And that was my routine for years. That was my routine for you. I didn't have any friends in my life. Even just imagining a girl was just like ridiculous. It's just like I just wanted a friend. I just wanted a friend, and that was my perception of life. My hierarchy of needs was I want to make a friend. So what I did was I challenged myself to leave my room and try to make a friend. Now you could look at the rest of the story on my TikTok channel. I tell it there. But bottom point is what I gave myself was hope. Once I pushed myself and realized the world is much bigger than my room, much bigger than the depressing routine that I'm constantly going around, and the world is so amazing. The people in it are so nice, and how positive and optimistic our future is looking. It was really, 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 really hard to be sad, because it was like, guys, like we're living in the coolest movie, anime, video game, like we're living, like people like to think about, like, watch Marvel and stuff to be amazed with these sci-fi universe. Our universe
life is way crazier.
It's way cooler. It's way cooler, and it's like it's way more elaborate. It's more elaborate. It's more beautiful. It's more beautifully written. Your story in itself is such a beautiful story. Like, if you think about your life story and think of its progression to the technology and this life that I'm talking about us reaching, now condense your life story in that frame. Your life, you yourself, every single one of us is just like the main character of an amazing tale. And it's just people coming to terms with the hope that gives them, the freedom that gives them, and how much they're capable of doing because of that, is what I think will lead people to becoming a little less depressed and like more patient. So another thing is, a lot of people are impatient because they think they have a ticking time. People think they have some time that's ticking down, and you know what? If I don't make use of this time, it's all going to go to waste. I think that's one of the greatest problems people have, is that they are too stuck in terms of thinking about time, and that they have limited time. And they need to start thinking about that they have infinite time, and they need to make their life goals shouldn't be like 50-year plans. They should be 5,000, 500,000 year plans, and they should be thinking about their consciousness as something that's a spirit, and that it's going to evolve. And this is not like woo stuff. This is like scientific technology. Are like, we're actually here, guys. This is real. You guys could research all of this. This is happening, and this is the roller coaster we're all about to go on, whether you guys like it or not. Like, you guys, like, it's happening, and we're all gonna get slapped in the face with it very soon. So if you're, yeah, so it's super exciting, but it's also super frightening for a lot of people. But ultimately, it's super hopeful. It's super hopeful, because how can you be so sad? How can you be so sad if you're an infinite being? Like, you could do whatever you want. If you have a problem right now, just be patient. Just be patient. You could work through it, and that, I guarantee you, will be solved, as long as you persevere and are patient enough to go through it. And say, for example, it's even the small things like your diet, you know? Let's say you have a bad diet. Just, you know, you go to the gym more. Like, get to bridge one. Get your body and mind to a point where you're just like a being of pure health in 6 years, and then you're going to get the benefits of bridge one. Now, let's say your physical body is good. Now get your mind, get your characters, like, make good friendships. Go, like, find love. Be honest. Don't manipulate people. Things like that are going to make you respect yourself, and self-respect is ultimately what's going to really matter in this new world that we're going to be going to. Because end of the day is like, if you you know, the person that knows yourself the most is you. And if you know you've been deceptive, if you know you've been a liar, if you know you've hurt people or betrayed people, that's ultimately going to hurt you forever. So if you want to manipulate people, you gotta really look at it in a lot longer terms than what it is right now.
Do you have thoughts on maybe like productivity? So if people believe what you're saying right now, should they do nothing? Should they just smoke weed and chill out? Like, what's the point? What do you think people should do about this?
Okay, so what do I think people should do? I do not think people should do nothing. I do not think people should just be lazy. I don't think people should find escapism and be like, oh, sweet. You know, Lucas says in 6 years, we're good. That means for the next 6 years, I'm just going to try to skate by. No, your spirit is going to crumble. You're going to become very, very sad. You're going to become very depressed. And what you need to do is instead of that, let me challenge you. Let me do a challenge, a personal challenge. Like, honestly, it's like, do whatever you want. End of the day, do whatever you want. But you know what? It's a personal challenge at this point. It's like, get a high score, you know? Be an amazing person. Be the best, most positive, optimistic light in the world, and make the best friendships in the world. And help as many people in the world as you can, and teach people, and just like. But also, obviously, you need your essentials. You need to have money. So you work, get a job, stay in your jobs, don't quit your jobs. You need that, and invest properly. But you ultimately, I think, this is kind of a bold prediction, but not really. It's kind of like a very obvious prediction. Money's not going to matter at all in like 20 years. Like no one's going to care. But yeah.
Bold prediction. Indeed.
No, it's very true. It's like no one, like how could it? How could it? It's like imagine you have an infinite universe that you could just go into and do whatever you want. Like what's 100K here? It's ridiculous. Think about why we have cities these days. The reason we have cities is because it is the most like logical. It's like a manual car. I like to think of cities as like still like in the sense of like almost like using manual systems, and a city is a very much a manual system where we have to actually physically be at the same location as other people, and we've logically concluded that the most amount of people in one space creates the most productivity, blah blah blah, da da da, and so we congregated in cities. And you know what, you guys, everyone knows that ABCs of why there's a city and evolution and whatever you want to plug in there you can, but we have cities. Why do we have cities? Is because of that integral purpose that we need a culmination of people in one location. However, in the future, and this very, very, very soon to be future, in 6 years, Ray Kurzweil says we will have full immersion VR and AR. Full immersion VR and AR means full touch, full, like this will be just, by the way, guys, this logo we created with Midjourney.
AI tools, guys, very powerful.
This is an AI logo, actually. It's beautiful. Okay, so where was I?
Cities in or
cities. So the reason here. So we will be full immersion. AR and VR means touch, senses, everything as you perceive it. Look, as you're watching this, leave your phone right now. Take it out of your hand. Stop looking at me. Look around you. Everything you're looking around you right now is going to be just as real as the simulations, video games, whatever you want to call them, are going to be in 6 years. We're going to have full immersion VR and AR. Now, with this comes no necessity to actually be physically near each other. Now, this is a huge concern for a lot of people because they're like, oh, okay, human beings are social animals. How are they going to be so separate from each other? Oh, we're going to be living in the metaverse, all this. No, it's like your perception of the reality is what's the problem here. This is just going to be as real as anything else. People are going to question this and be like, maybe my reality is more real than yours. You're going to have to contend with that. You're going to have to literally come to terms with people questioning whether your perception of reality is even real and whether the universe you're existing in is the actual universe. So with that being said, we will have, let's say in this world, we will have VR. VR will allow us to connect with each other just like this, sitting across from each other anywhere in the world. So I could be in my cabin in the Himalayas on Mount Everest with my barbecue, whatever. Yeah. And I could be in one moment there, and the next second I could be like, boop, oh, hey, what's up, Kyle? Now we're in a board meeting talking to each other in whichever. We're interesting people. We won't be here. We'll be, where? It'll be cool. We'll be like on Mars.
Some crazy man. The moon,
why not?
South America.
Why not? You could have infinite design to endless landscapes where you could just be. And this is happening in 6 years, guys.
Yeah, de-urbanization has already started. You see it right now with like the work from home stuff. In VR, I think both Microsoft and Meta are working for like so that you can have like conference room, like VR, like sitting in there with your coworkers. They're putting like billions of dollars into this. So like regardless, this is for sure happening. It gives you a lot of options to like work anywhere you want, live wherever you want with your partner, your kids, wherever. A lot of people right now are kind of depressed in cities. It's not like the cleanest and perhaps safe place at times. So maybe it's time that humans go back to nature with technology. So I think, it's super exciting.
Absolutely. So that's the beautiful thing about it, is that we're no longer going to be so condensed in cities. We're able to spread out over the whole world. If you love the world we're living in, if you love planet Earth and this reality that we're in, you're gonna love this future because humanity is gonna explore the whole planet and live all over the planet, and every single position they're living in is gonna be just as optimal as every other position. So that's the problem right now, is the optimization of it, right? People want to congregate to cities like New York and Toronto and all that stuff because more opportunities, better healthcare, better whatever, better opportunities. But the opportunity is going to be completely equalized due to location, due to VR and AR. So we're going to be able to transfer everyone's going to be location independent in 6 years. So cities are, ultimately, conclusion, cities are not going to be a thing in the future at all.
Location independent business and life. That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
To prepare for this, do you think people should like start like preparing for like to be like a independent business owner like in the near future before money's totally irrelevant? Like, do you have thoughts on that and like AI tools?
I think people should start really researching into AI and getting into latest AI developments. I'm already using so many AI tools in my businesses. I use AI tools to transfer my videos from my TikTok to my YouTube automatically now. It's like a complete, like, I don't know. Thing is it AI? It's they call it AI, but it's not really AI. It's just a tool, right? But eventually, the whole
script, yeah.
I guess it is artificial intelligence, but I think general AI is really where it gets to the point where it's just like human consciousness.
Right now, it's basically like a robot. So it's like a software robot.
Yeah.
But it can't think, but it can do stuff. So it's halfway there.
Yeah, it's halfway there, and the trajectory is looking so good, boys and girls. It's looking so good. It's like in 6 years, again, guys, it's crazy. So yeah. So if you want the narrative where you grow old, you find your love, you have a simple country lifestyle, you're on a barn, and you have a cow.
Get the milk.
And you got to get the milk. And you want to live that simple life. There's a world there for you, and you could just be like, okay, I'm gonna go live that reality, and you could live as many lives in that reality as you so choose to live. Just don't hurt any other spirit as you're doing it, and enjoy the rest of your immortality. Go live that life in your barn as many times as you like until you get bored and you want to come to my 10,000 world of sword fighting game.
Very good.
Yeah.
So this will maybe like free up human imagination, because I know right now a lot of like rich people are kind of bored with the money. There's only very limited things you can buy with money right now, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's very limited things. Like, I'm pretty financially comfortable, and to be honest, like it's right now it's like my priority of needs is just like mostly just like having amazing friendships, community, growing the love I have with my girlfriend, and just doing things I'm passionate about. This is one of those things, like just spreading this stuff is just like super cool to me, because it's just like it's super interesting. It's real, and I think telling people that they're immortal and they're going to be living forever and existing forever in this world, if they so choose to, is pretty interesting. So may as well do that.
What do you think about like people that are scared of AI, specifically like artists that think that this is going to kill their creativity?
Well, I saw a cool video of an artist recently on TikTok where he was showing that he like puts his body and passion and soul into the art he creates, and it's like literally his droplets of sweat go into his art, and like sometimes his hair fibers fall into his art. You can't replicate that with AI and stuff. It's like you could maybe in like let's say 50 years from now, but like right now, you guys are good. You guys just need to bring your spirit into it. Make it more than the art. Make it your story.
Do you think people artists should specifically learn to integrate these AI tools?
Yeah, absolutely. It's if you're fighting against it, you're gonna fall behind. You could be like a traditionalist and be like, okay, I only have an oil and canvas and all that stuff, and that'll be cool. Honestly, you maybe find a niche of people that are really interested in that, and that's power to you, man. That's awesome. But for people that I would say on the same tone, but just be as accepting to the people that do use AI. As accepting as the people are to you using your oil and canvas. Be like, oh yeah, dude, that's awesome. What'd you do with AI today? Oh, what'd you do with the oil and canvas today? Oh, that's cool, awesome. You're just excited for everyone's like stuff, instead of just being like, you're using AI or
being bitter and jaded people.
Yeah. Just be friendly. We've already all made it, guys.
Specifically, Gary Vee talks about how, like in the early 2000s, he was using like email. He was one of the first guys to use like email marketing, and people were like, dude, you're stupid. This internet thing is a fad. Like, it's just for like children and stuff. And well, maybe that turned out a little bit different in the end. So. Yeah, it's happening, guys. Exciting times.
It's not only happening. It's you're in it. We're in it. Here it is. We're here, everyone. And let's say okay. It's easy to say this in a position where we're here in the West. Let's say we're here in the West. We're comfortable. There's wars going on. There's wars going on in Ukraine. There's wars going on all over the world. And it's like, how can you be so positive and optimistic? And like, what about their suffering and all that stuff? And it's like, I think that with the technology that's progressing is going to even help them, and it is helping them. And their voices are heard more than ever before. Imagine these atrocities were happening 100 years ago. It's like there'd be such a pile of propaganda to go over and like obfuscate all the truths and injustices that are going on in the world that we're seeing now and doing stuff about, guys. We're doing stuff about it. We're helping these guys, and we're all working together to make this world come true. We just need people to be, one, more optimistic and more patient, and also, you know, crazy people like, you know, that have, they gotta chill out, you know, chill the F out. So you gotta, you know, just like, guys, let's make it in the next 6 years, chill the F out. And
yeah, to go back to the stats, like once again, like hunger, violence, and everything have gone down dramatically in the past, like, you know, 100 years and so. So everything's on the up and up. It's just with social media and everything, we have HD footage of, you know, when stuff goes bad. So that's pretty depressing and traumatizing, but that's just like one part of it. In general, things are going in the right direction.
Oh yeah, 100%. So it's like we're in the best period of human like there's never been less poverty than there is now, like you just said. So, and there's like, I think, more opportunity and abundance of human happiness than there's ever been. There's also more attention brought on the human suffering. You know why? Because people that have high abundance of happiness, like even me, when I'm browsing on my phone, like just on my bed, and I'm looking through the world news, it's like, it's easy. It's like, oh man, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that happened. And then you just get sucked into this like dark hole of just pessimism and like, oh wow, I can't believe the world's going. But then you have to zoom out. You have to zoom out. You have to see where the world is heading, and you have to know that the best way to help everyone is to continuously be positive and optimistic, because we're on track, everyone. We just have to be patient, and we just have to not kind of blow it up for the next 6 years, or like, you know, you just gotta you know, chill out, guys. Everything's happening as it should. We're in a perfect position in human history. We are the first human beings to have ever existed with the actual opportunity to be immortal, and if we give this opportunity up, we'll be big fools. So guys, chill out.
Yeah. What do you see as the main challenges to us reaching the singularity? Like, what would make it not happen?
World War III.
So I guess the main thing that could like get away in the way of this happening, this amazing world. Okay, actually, it's two things. So there's gonna be it's gonna be either World War III, which I don't think it's not gonna happen. Everyone's so nice, even yeah. I don't think anything's gonna happen. So it's not gonna happen. So that, or it's gonna be people that have like ideologies that really, really don't mesh well with this one, and they want to enforce their ideology on everyone else. And it's just, please don't do it. It just, if you believe in whatever you believe in, just believe in it in peace. Leave other people to believe whatever they want, and you believe what you want, and everyone will be happy believing whatever they like. And you don't, as long as you're not imposing your ideologies on anyone else. That's, I think, the main threats of this actually coming to pass. But I actually am very optimistic in terms of it not happening. I don't think it will happen. I think we're very reasonable people. I think human beings are naturally good, and I think once this positive reality just comes to dawn on everyone, that I think everyone's just going to chill out and be like, okay guys, that's crazy, but here, like, we're out of it, you know. Let's just enjoy and understand and perceive what world we're in right now.
What are your top 3 sources for this if someone wants to fact check you?
Ray Kurzweil. Look, if you want to fact check this, guys, if you guys want to look anything up, there's been a legend. There's been a man that's been carrying our whole like generation, and he's, for whatever reason, I don't know why he's so unknown to a lot of people. His name is Ray Kurzweil. He's the most amazing person I've ever researched. He wrote the book The Singularity. he wrote the book The Singularity is Near, and he's writing the book The Singularity is Near. You could look him up on Google. You could look him up on ChatGPT. You could look him up anywhere you want. He probably created the thing that you're looking up on. So
yeah, he works for Google.
yeah. So so just look this guy up and come to terms with your immortality.
Yeah, also worth looking into his podcast with Lex Friedman. And then Lex Friedman is a podcaster. He also interviewed Elon Musk on AI. He interviewed Mark Zuckerberg on AI. He's an AI researcher himself, I think, works for MIT. So a lot of people working in these fields nowadays are very public. So you can watch this stuff, educate yourself. So you're not just like kind of like unknowingly just scared of the future for no reason. Like most people that are in this field are extremely optimistic about it. And the people that are kind of pessimistic, maybe from like Elon Musk, like are people that don't know much about it and are just kind of like, oh, technology, but like no, it's fine, guys. Technology is helping us.
Also, like the Ray Kurzweil's predictions have been put against other experts in his time. So in the 90s, he had people contesting him. He just easy clap, dude. This guy's like the faker of AI. This guy's like the faker of, like, for people that know faker, it means like League of Legends. So there's a League of Legends guy named Faker who's just like in the team. What's it called?
SKT
T1, and he's literally a child genius prodigy, and he's the best at playing this game, League of Legends. I'm saying
it's a great compliment.
This guy's username is Faker, so this guy is the equivalent in our reality, which Faker is in our reality as well. I guess he is immortal as well. By the way, a lot of these personalities, a lot of the people that are online right now, and a lot of our friends, a lot of the people that you know, and the people that you watch on YouTube, like for example, Asmongold. I watch Asmongold doing World of Warcraft playthroughs and stuff, and like reviews. He's going to be reviewing World of Warcraft in 200,000 years, and it's going to be crazy. And he's going to be like, "Holy, remember when I was mortal?" It's going to be quite the thing. Anyway,
a lot of famous people questioned Ray Kurzweil, especially on the Turing test.
Yeah.
He's saying that by 2029 we'll for sure have passed it. Some people say that like we already have passed it, but a lot of technological experts said that it's impossible. For those of you that don't know, the Turing test is for, I think how it works is a human has to be not able to distinguish a conversation between an actual human and a computer. And if you chat with ChatGPT right now, I think you can tell that like it's pretty close to a human. And Ray Kurzweil says that by 2029, an expert in linguistics will have a multi-hour conversation with an AI and literally not be able to tell if it's a human or an AI. And people said that's completely impossible. It's never going to happen. They said that I think in the 2000s, in the 90s, even before this. And I think now that things are going this way, you can see that like the pessimists are proved wrong time and time again. So yeah, it's exciting. A lot of good people are working on this, which to me is why it's exciting to me. Before I was kind of like half and half, like, oh, it could be good or it could be like mega corporation, like desolate Walking Dead type of thing. But seeing actual like individual that I can look up, see what their plans are, research it for myself, read the books, and kind of like, yes, use the technology myself, ChatGPT. Like I'm a big optimist now. And fundamentally, I think that reality is a good thing. The world and the universe has our back. Like things in general are for the good. So.
And this is the theme of this podcast. So this is episode 1. Basically, we're an optimistic futurism podcast. We're going to be talking about latest trends on futurism. We're going to bring on guests, AI experts. Hopefully Ray Kurzweil, if you're watching this, man, please come on. I'm your biggest fan. It's like he's just so humble. It's just like he has like videos like that have 40K views on YouTube. That should crazy, have 7 billion views on YouTube. Some have
500 views.
Like, there's some have 500 views on YouTube. And it's just like, he's just like, hey guys, anyway, this is the latest technology and this is where we're going. And we're immortal anyway, so goodbye. I'm gonna go back to work. And then, like everyone's just like, oh, okay, that's Ray again. We'll see you again in another 10 years, Ray. But he's he needs more recognition.
So who gets it first? Is it only the rich people?
This is why a lot of people have a negative viewpoint of technology and a negative viewpoint of this pessimistic viewpoint of their own realities and their own lives, is because they think that, okay, so I'm poor now. I can't really afford all these technologies. Oh, Lucas is telling me I'm going to be immortal. Okay, whatever, bro. I need to pay my rent. And it's just like, but trust me. Hold on, okay, so take the phone that you have in your pocket. How much, I know I brought this example up before, but the technology that's in that phone right now is worth billions of dollars 20 years ago. Exponentially, technology becomes better and cheaper. Exponential. I don't think people understand how, so human beings don't really understand exponential. You know, it's hard to perceive exponentials because we think we have very linear brains. When we were evolving, we were thinking, oh, okay, I need to get from rock A to B before the tiger gets me at C. So it's very like linear, like kind of hunter-gatherer mind. So we think very like strategically and linearly, but we have the opportunity now. Because we have the knowledge of today's society and today's technology to understand how exponentials work.
Yeah, for people that don't know, like an exponential graph looks like this, literally flat on like both sides, and it just goes up, 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 up.
Yeah.
And technology like iPhones and stuff, like they're not kept for the elite. I'm not an economist, but capitalism and technology works that like to make a lot of money off of it, you sell it to like masses of people. So as soon as Samsung and Apple develops technology, like we get it like pretty close to the richest people in the world, right? You can't buy like a super crazy $1 billion smartphone. That just doesn't exist.
The point is, the technology that you have in your pocket is worth billions of dollars. In the future, let's say this longevity technology like de-aging and Neuralink and AI cloud stuff is like, you're going to think, oh, I need to be a millionaire to access these technologies. You're not going to need to be a millionaire. You just have to wait till, like, imagine being the guy that's being like, oh, in order to get the iPhone, I'm going to have the iPhone 1 or I don't get it at all. You know, you don't need the iPhone 1. You already have the iPhone 14 Pro. You know, you have the iPhone 14 after like 10 years, and that's exponentially going to become even quicker to you in the future. So it's like, just be patient. Technology is coming. It's literally going to develop for you. Just embrace it, and it's going to be very cheap, very affordable. If you're in the West, it's going to be a joke.
Yeah.
It's going to be so accessible to everyone, and it's like, honestly, it's not even like worthy of like debate, to be honest, because it's just like it's again, technology has nothing to do with right or left politics. It has nothing to do with politics. Technology in itself is just progressing, and humanity is an observer of its progression. And we have to come to terms with its exponential growth. And our philosophies are constantly evolving because of its exponential growth. And we're not able to comprehend and understand like exactly what's going on because we're experiencing it from our perspective. But we need to look at it from a kind of a greater perspective.
Sure, yeah. If you read about this time in a history book, it would make a lot more sense than now you're living in it, right? If we would read about, now we can read about like the 1900s and stuff, but people living in it felt like crazy long time, like probably felt normal to them, although in World War II.
In terms of human history, this is going to be like a spark. This is just, we're already in the spark. Like the spark has gone. We're like in the ignition. We're in the ignition of AI. We're literally engulfed in an amazing explosion of beauty, and it's like we're just on this ride now, like all of us, and that's what life is now. in I guess the ultimate conclusion of this is be very grateful for the reality that we exist in and the world we're living in right now, because we're in the best time in human history to have ever existed, and we have
100%.
We have the most access to healthcare, we have the most access to technologies, and we have an actual tangible road to achieving everything we talk about on this podcast. And as long as we don't kind of fall off that path, we'll reach it. And it's looking very promising and very hopeful. And we kind of have to come together as a society and be like, guys, chill out. Let's just let it happen.